Tonight, does this tariff strategy make my junk look bigger? Trump's manly man tariff strategy explained.
Oh yeah, time for men to be men again.
By causing a global recession?
I mean, I was going to suggest like chopping some wood or something, but yeah, sure, that works too.
Plus, move over trade war. The war on woke is heating up. We look at how to get women off your websites and into your sports teams.
Then Jurassic Park 5, Eaten Alive, gets one step closer to reality with these adorable baby direwolves.
Sounds like we're all pretty screwed. Welcome to the Fenix News Report.
This week was confusing as hell, and we're frankly not sure who's tariffing who anymore. By the time you watch this, we might be in a trade war with Antarctica. So let's recap all the madness that went down.
Last week, we talked about Trump's Liberation Day announcement and how the stock market nosedived like Don Jr. at a frat party. Then, while Rome was actively burning, Trump put his flamethrower down and said, "Hand me a fiddle." That's right, he went to go play golf.
How was the golf tournament?
Very good, because I won. It's good to win. You heard I won, right? Did you hear I won?
Yeah.
Just to back it up, you were there, I won.
What's your handicap
I like
these
to win.
days?
Very low. I have a very low handicap.
Sure, no one can afford to retire anymore, but we all want to talk about Trump's handicap.
But Jasmine Crockett disagreed. For reasons we can't explain, she got weirdly upset about the golf thing.
Let's talk about the fact that as of March 30th, Trump's golfing has cost us approximately $26 million. He decided that he was going to golf as the markets were tanking. He decided he was going to golf instead of receiving 4 heroes who died serving this country. He has decided that he wanted to play games while the rest of us are really trying to make sure that we can serve the American people.
Fun fact, did you know that there is a site called TrumpGolfTracker.net where you can see how much of his presidency has been spent golfing? Right now, it's at 25%.
Ugh, Andrea, this is all part of the plan.
What the hell are you talking about? What plan?
Okay. Trump was playing golf on purpose. You see, it's all a part of his very manly plan. Look, let this hot guy explain it to you.
Well, when you're in the middle of a negotiation, you don't want people to see you stressed out. You don't want them thinking that you've made a mistake. So Donald Trump goes, here's the deal. It's Liberation Day. You're all getting reciprocal tariffs. I'm going to go hit the links.
Nice of him to take time away from trying to kill Harry Potter to posit that theory, but doesn't exactly hold water, okay? Now, earlier this week, stocks popped temporarily on news that Trump might be pausing the tariffs, but the market went back down after the Trump team said, "Oh, that's fake news." Oh, wait a minute. We're fake news. Maybe we can help get the stock market back up.
Ooh, good idea. Okay, Donald Trump was eaten by a pack of rabid wolves.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, global economic chaos means no one will extend credit to the Trump family anymore, wiping out their paper fortune and forcing them to flee to Siberia.
Nice. Yes, I love it. Okay. Ashton Kutcher jumped out of a van and revealed that everything from 2016 to now has been entirely fabricated for the show Punk'd. Enjoy that market peak, you guys.
Now, in the midst of this trade war, Trump's billionaire donors were freaking out. Investor Bill Ackman described the tariffs as a, quote, self-induced economic nuclear winter. Elon Musk also broke with Trump, warning that the tariffs will significantly impact Tesla's production costs. Other billionaires came forward to say, sure, you may not be able to retire, but I might have to pay slightly more for my next yacht, which I'll then list as a rental under its own LLC, allowing me to write off the depreciation and operating costs as a loss against my taxable income. But, have some sympathy for the rich guys.
Even Trump's own party turned on him, with Rand Paul leading the charge on GOP pushback against Trump's tariff plan. But Trump kept insisting that he was making deals.
I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my ass. They are dying to make a deal. Please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything, sir. And then I'll see some rebel Republican, some guy that wants to grandstand, say, I think that Congress should take over negotiations. Let me tell you, you don't negotiate like I negotiate.
Then Trump decides to go balls to the wall on China, jacking up their tariffs to now 145%. China jacked up their tariffs right back, and the EU was getting ready to do the same. And in case you didn't know, the EU offered Trump a 0-for-0 trade deal weeks ago, which for some reason he did not take.
All this meant Trump's approval rating started to take a beating like a Dora the Explorer piñata at a 7th birthday party. And then the bond market started to crash. And that's when things got really exciting.
Trump finally decided to back down with a 90-day pause on most tariffs, because nothing says big dick energy like abandoning the plan halfway through. Now, he didn't pause the tariff on China, and somehow there's now new tariffs on Canada and Mexico? I don't know. As of now, markets are still smoking after this week's dumpster fire, and economists say we may be headed towards a global recession. But the good news is that we get to watch Mr. Art of the Deal pull all this same bullshit again in 90 days.
Now, while Trump was making his announcement over on Truth Social, his trade representative was on the hot seat defending the very tariffs that he had just suddenly paused. And it did not go over very well.
This is amateur hour, and it needs to stop. What does this even mean for your negotiating strategy? How are you in charge of negotiation if the president is tweeting about this from wherever the hell he is?
Such a good strategy. Donald Trump totally knows what he's doing. Part of the deal, baby.
What? This isn't a strategy. He literally admitted that he folded under pressure. Look at this.
Well, I thought that people were jumping a little bit out of line. They were getting yippy, you know? They were getting a little bit yippy, a little bit afraid.
No. You have to understand that Trump has the kind of economic savoir-faire not seen since Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Folding is all part of the plan. Take a look at this. All right. Trump's not playing 4-dimensional chess, he's playing 8-dimensional chess. So by taking the stock market, right, he wipes out everyone's retirement accounts and college funds, which you can see here. Oh, that's better. And all this is a part of his mama agenda.
Mama?
Yeah, make America masculine again.
Are you like having a stroke right now? Do you smell burnt toast? How many fingers am I holding up?
I mean, no, look, okay. The guy who always notices your watch at the urinal, Jesse Waters, is here to explain everything.
When you sit behind a screen all day, it makes you a woman. Studies have shown this. Studies have shown this. And if you're out working, like building robots like Harold, you are around other guys. You're not around HR ladies and lawyers.
What do you
that
do?
gives you estrogen.
What do you
Let
do?
me finish, Judge.
So you see, yes, Trump did permanently damage our status as a nation and as an economy. But now we all get to be men again.
You're already a man.
Thank you for noticing.
According to some sort of Wall Street analyst, Apple is going to get it the worstest from Donald Trump's trade war, and iPhones could triple in price. That's because pretty much all their stuff is made in China. Hilariously, their CEO Tim Cook a few years back was like, Democrats this, LGBTQ that, until it was time to pay fealty to economy guillotine Donald Trump. That's when Timmy gave Don Don's inauguration $1 million. And the moral of that story is, don't bend the knee unless you want the Tanya Harding treatment.
Other CEOs are getting spooked and looking for ways to cut costs. Shopify CEO Tuberville sent this memo to his employees since he couldn't face them in person. Before asking for more headcount and resources, teams must demonstrate why they cannot get what they want done using AI. Interesting memo when the world is worried about what AI will do to their jobs. But I think I figured it out. Firing people, that's what gets CEOs off. Picture a stuffed shirt like Tubi at home, his wife completely unsatisfied, his mistress even more so. Tubi just can't fulfill his masculine duties. None of the machines or pills have worked. He's never felt less of a man. But then the shareholders tell him he needs to start firing employees, so he has his assistant draw up a list and lets 1,000 Shopify employees go. He shudders when he does it. This is the first time he's been hard in years, and he rushes home immediately to give his lady the business she desperately needs. Toby's back, baby. Tubi is back.
Now are you smelling the burnt toast?
Still no.
Now, given how much uncertainty there has been in the past week, what happens over the next week in the global trade war? It's unclear. Let's go now to our chief economics forecaster, Mike Dynamo. Mike, what are you seeing in the 7-day economic forecast?
Thanks, Andrea. So, over here, you're about to see some tariffs sweeping in over this area. And then up over here, tariffs are going to briefly cool down before heating back up again. Now, all the way up here, there is 100% chance that frosty trade relations will continue.
Mike, we can't really tell where everything is on the map. Can you elaborate?
All right, look, I'm going to be straight up with you. I have no idea what's going to happen next, okay? Look, just put all your money under your mattress for the next 4 years. God damn.
Thanks, Mike?
All right, look, I know what to do. Let's get some answers here. Let's check in with our chief future correspondent, Jen Haston. Jen, can you tell us what has changed 2 years from now with all of these tariffs?
Hey, Andrea, great question. Honestly, not much. Everything is pretty much the same 2 years in the future as it is back then.
Jen, you look different somehow. Are you sure there are no big changes?
Well, we all had to make some adjustments to how we live after the tariffs, but aside from the killer Tesla bots, the measles plague that finally forced us to wall off West Texas, RFK Jr. turning out to be that cockroach alien from Men in Black, nope, same old, same old. It's so weird seeing both of you with hair again, by the way.
Hey, babe, what you doing?
Is
that Andrea in Austin?
Yeah?
Why are you wearing my clothes?
Hey, babe, I'm just messing with these dudes from the past. They're so gullible, it's hilarious. I did that Men in the Black joke, and they're full on deer in the headlights.
Nice. Get the hell out of here.
So you were just messing with us? But it all seemed so real, so probable, so inevitable. The tariffs, I mean, it just made sense.
Oh, are we talking about all of Trump's BS tariffs? Yeah, those suck.
They suck in the future, all right. Can you, real Jen, tell us what still costs more 2 years from now?
Mostly edibles.
Oh, okay, so just like weed gummies and special brownies and stuff like that? I mean, those are kind of expensive now, so that's not so terrible.
No, edibles. Like things you eat. Food. All food is way, way, way expensive now. No one can afford any of it.
Great. And, is there anything else that's really expensive?
Yeah, matter. Like all matter. Anything that has mass.
Oh, wow, okay. Let's try and look on the bright side here, okay? Is there anything in the future that is less expensive?
Yeah, fentanyl. Trump's plan worked. He was able to get all the fentanyl manufacturing back into the U.S. after Mexico told us to fuck off. So fentanyl is super cheap now.
Oh my God, Jen, how did things get so bad?
Oh, that's easy. If you'll take a look at this handy dandy chart, you can see exactly what happened.
Called it! Thanks, Jen. Now there's one person who seems to have emerged from this tariff debacle relatively unscathed, and okay, I know I'm gonna regret this, but I'm doing it anyway. Caw-caw! The emperor has no clothes. Caw-caw! Trump's naked.
Oh, God. Okay, yeah, sorry, Austin. I was just looking for something. Have you seen any Donnie Dick around here? Because I am. I heard that tackle was finally out of the box, and I'm gonna hook that worm, if you know what I mean.
No, Margie, there's no dangling POTUS. I just said that to summon you, like some kind of demon. I have a question for you.
Oh, okay. Well, sure. Just let me find that Trump stuff.
Okay. I know that you are thirstier than a single dude at Burning Man, but this is important. Margie, did you do some insider trading recently? Because there are reports that while stocks crashed worldwide, You made a few timely purchases and saw a 29% gain.
Cacao?
No, you are not going to margie out of this. Now, I'm looking at your financial disclosures right here, and it looks like you moved up to $750,000 in Treasury bonds just ahead of the tariff announcement that tanked the world economy. This looks like straight up insider trading. What do you have to say for yourself?
All right, looky here, Austin. I know that this looks like insider trading.
But
what? I'm a MAGA Republican. Y'all voted for this shit. I'm rich and you're welcome.
wow. Of all the factually incorrect and corrupt things you've said over the years, that showed by far the most Trumpiness.
Trump penis? Where? No. Oh, sorry, Austin. I don't have time for your tears right now. I want to get my passport stamped in Trump's Mushroom Kingdom. Caw-caw!
Now, given that the economy is being spit roasted like a porn star, our government is going to have to tighten the purse strings. Here on the Fenix, we're not just bitchy little shits. We also want to be team players. And it's in that spirit that we would like to offer our assistance to the medium working team at DOGE.
We've noticed that you're finding an awful lot of spending, jobs, and departments to cut that a lot of non-DOGE people find to be a bit much. Kind of like taking hemlock to treat a headache. Sure, you won't feel any pain after, but you will also be dead. So to help right this train wreck, here are a few suggestions from us.
First, cut DOGE. The country has gotten along just fine without it, and once it was formed, the country went right down the crapper. It's overreaching, it's unaccountable, and it only seems to make unnecessary work for government lawyers and the judges who find against them.
Next, cut Justices Thomas and Alito and replace them with rubber stamps that have some robes taped to them, saving both time and money.
And finally, cut Donald Trump. He seems to primarily function as a government-sponsored Nepo baby who destroys the world economy in between chip shots. Why not replace him with a box of low-cost, high-quality masturbatory aids? I mean, that seems like a much more efficient way to have a wanker in the Oval Office that's only purpose is to invite others to go fuck themselves. Enjoy the savings, kids.
Now, while DOGE has been trimming, one of the things that they've taken a chainsaw to is wokeness. Here's the latest update in the war on woke.
Oh no! Tommy Tuberville says something alarming is happening in sports.
Men's teams across this country now that are turning trans.
Oh no! All the sporty men are turning into women? How's this happening? Did they drink from straws?
You know I recommend that all men refrain from using straws. It's unbecoming, the way a man's lips purse.
Did they go shopping with their wives?
What kind of husband goes grocery shopping with his wife?
These male athletes need to get their mojo back. I mean, have they tried firing people or starting a trade war?
Also this week, Harriet Tubman got erased from a National Park Service webpage about the Underground Railroad. Come on. You're so threatened by the existence of black women that you tried to cancel Harriet fucking Tubman? A woman who has been dead for over 100 years? Just the memory of a black woman doing awesome shit sent you into a spiral so bad that you had to erase her from your website, you goddamn snowflakes? Man the fuck up already.
And speaking of anyone who doesn't pass the paper bag test, bad news for anyone brown. The Trump administration just deported 238 migrants to El Salvador. Most had no criminal record. One of them was a husband and father, accidentally deported, whose case went all the way to the Supreme Court. And he still hasn't been returned.
All of this in response to the administration's new boogeyman, a Venezuelan gang called Tren de Aragua, which no one had heard of before 2 weeks ago, and who now employs everyone with a tattoo. Now, the hype around Tren de Aragua started right after Icehole Tom Homan took his 29 office staffers to a local Mexican restaurant. According to witnesses, Homan greeted every brown person there by asking, "So what gang are you in?" The server replied, "Tren de Agua? Water's all around?" That server was later deported to Honduras, despite being from Cleveland.
And it's not just immigrants. Even white people aren't safe now. A British tourist spent 3 weeks in jail because of a snafu with her visa. Now the Trump administration is floating the idea of deporting American citizens. The Supreme Court just ruled that yes, Trump can use the Alien Enemies Act, but only if they give people a hearing before deporting them. So good news! The last thing you see before they slip the black hood over your head will be a judge.
Now, as awesome as staying in America sounds right now, you might want to hop in a tanning bed so you can get a free plane ticket away from this measles outbreak. HHS Secretary and man being ratatouilled by a brainworm, RFK Jr., has finally suggested, after several preventable deaths, that the best way to stop measles from spreading is with the MMR vaccine. This is both true and the first time I've ever distrusted a vaccine.
The Maha faithful are outraged, so the world's first human-insect hybrid has reminded all Americans to stay healthy and never put anything into their bodies, from vaccine to water, that they did not personally find lying on the side of the road.
U.S. scientists are worried that a trio of Russian satellites dropped something weird in orbit around our failing planet. Many of those scientists think that Russia is testing out a space weapon. If that's true, it would also mean that Russia has produced its own Justice League.
Their Superman is in red tights. Batman has a puffy Russian hat with a star on it. Wonder Woman's outfit is better, and she has a lasso of pain. Green Lantern's got a red ring of rage, and Hawkgirl, well, she's just regular Hawkgirl, but she hates the USA.
Speaking of space news, Houston, we have a problem. A theory on Twitter suggests that Houston might have lost the NCAA basketball championship because Ted Cruz, winner of the coveted New Zealand Fish of the Year award, attended the game. The theory goes that when Teddle shows up in the sagging flesh for a team he supports, that team will lose. Makes sense? Have you seen what he's done to Congress?
Now let's wrap things up with some news from the animal kingdom. Great news for people who love Game of Thrones, and terrible news for people who believe in bad omens. The direwolf is back. The geneticists at Colossal Biosciences, notable in that none of the 130 scientists who work there have ever heard of Jurassic Park, have already written the prologue to their dystopian future when they invented the woolly mouse not long ago. Using DNA from 1,000-year-old remains and a hunchback with a pronounced lisp, they were able to breed 3 direwolf pups, effectively de-extincting the species. The mysterious company hopes to ride the wave of hubris generated by the success onto the de-extinction of the woolly mammoth, the dodo, and the thylacine, followed naturally by the violent extinction of the human race at the claws and fangs of these blood-hungry devil beasts. Donald Trump Jr. has already expressed interest in hunting them for sport.
A pair of 100-year-old Galapagos tortoises at the Philly Zoo have had their first babies. Isn't that wonderful? The pair managed to lay 4 eggs and all of them hatched. Now I know what you're thinking. Holy crap, can we buy our eggs from the zoo? Is that like cheaper? That wraps up this week's episode. We'll be back with our podcast, Washington to Westminster, next Wednesday, and another episode of the Fenix News Report is always out on Fridays. Subscribe to make sure that you don't miss a thing. Keep flying, y'all.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye. But what? You have your phone. Why do you have your phone?
I'm trying to. We're not recording
Trying to be
yet.
professional for
I still gotta put on the lipstick and the hair and everything like that.
Spoilers.
Well, why am I dressed like this? I'm not gonna go off and somewhere on some boat or something, while everyone else is like, freaking out, I'm not Ted Cruz. I'm going to be right here with all the rest of you. Yeah.